Hey guys, Mr. Jalapeno here with another little DIY. On today's project, we're going to be reinstalling this baseboard here in the bedroom. The carpet guys had to take it off. I think they had to stretch out the carpet or something. I'm not 100% sure what, but I'm just going to show you how to reinstall it. Just make sure you put it exactly where it was before. You could kind of tell by the caulk line there. And now what you want to do is get yourself a stud finder. That way you can look for all the studs behind the drywall and you know for sure that you're hitting studs and not just the drywall with your nailer. Especially with long boards like this, you want to make sure you're hitting all the studs. That way that baseboard's going to stay nice and tight up against the wall. And there also won't be any flexing on the baseboard where sometimes the caulking cracks because of that. Look, see all the little blue tapes are where all the studs are. Super simple. The stud finder I had right there, the one I was using, I got it from Costco and it's actually really good. But anyways, now I'm just gonna get my 18 gauge DeWalt nailer. I'm using 2-inch nails and I personally like using 18 gauge nails just because it doesn't leave such a big nail hole. Just make sure you're hitting the studs like I keep mentioning. There's a little bit of nails that were sticking out. I'm gonna show you how to repair it, but before that, let's put some blue tape down. Just make sure that when you're laying down the blue tape to tuck it in under the baseboard. That way, in case any paint gets under the baseboard, the blue tape will catch it. And I'm also putting the blue tape on the wall about a 1/16 away from the baseboard. That way, when I pull the blue tape, it's not gonna take the caulking with it. And it's also not gonna get that gloss trim paint on the flat wall. And now that you blue taped everything and covered the floor, now it's time to fill those nail holes. The product I'm using to cover up the nail holes is called Crawford's Painter's Putty. I just apply it with my finger and then I just sand them down. A lot of people use a putty knife for it. I like to sand it down. I feel like it just gives it a nicer, flatter finish. Oh, and look, this is super annoying when the nails are sticking out. But thanks to this nail set, it makes it less annoying. You just have to pull the spring, let it go, and it'll set that nail in good. And that way I could fill it with that Crawford's Painter's Putty. But look, super nice. If you do a lot of this stuff, I strongly recommend to get that little tool. It's called the spring tool. It also comes with another one that helps you take out the pins on the hinges. And now that you have all the nail holes filled in, it's caulk time. I'm gonna use this Alex Fast Dry 20 minute. That way I'm able to paint in 20 minutes. I've used other types that take forever to dry. This one, it's probably not as flexible as I would like it to be, but it does provide a nice seal. And as long as you hit the studs with your nails, there shouldn't be any movement on the baseboard because sometimes that'll cause the caulking to crack. But once the caulking sets after 20 minutes, you can go ahead and paint. Just make sure that the caulking is set because what ends up happening is when the caulking is too wet still, you end up pulling it with your brush. So just be cautious with that. And also, if your baseboards are sprayed, I recommend using a foam roller. Add a little bit of Floetrol. That way it'll look like it was sprayed. You don't want to use a brush on smooth surfaces like this because the brush marks are going to be very noticeable. Unless your baseboards were painted with the brush and they already have the brush marks, go right ahead and use your brush. And as soon as you're done painting, remove the blue tape. Just be careful not to touch the wet paint. Put the doorstop back up if you need to, and you're done. We're going to come back to paint the whole bedroom another day, but that's it. Jalapeno Solutions. Boom.